Welcome to the Healthy, Wealthy, and Smart podcast. Each week, we interview the best and brightest in physical therapy, wellness, and entrepreneurship. We give you cutting-edge information you need to live your best life, healthy, wealthy, and smart. The information in this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be used as personalized medical advice. And now, here's your host, Dr. Karen Litzy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. So over the next couple of weeks, we're really going to be pumping out a lot of episodes that we recorded at the Combined Sections meeting, which is the American Physical Therapy Association's largest meeting of the year. So it was so cool this year is I had correspondence. So I had different people doing interviews for the podcast. And today's interviewer is the wonderful Jenna Kantor. So if you don't know Jenna, she is currently in her third year at Columbia University's physical therapy program. She is co-founder of the podcast Physiotherapy Performance Perspectives, has an evidence-based monthly YouTube series titled Injury Prevention for Dancers, is a New York SIG co-founder, NYPTA Student Conclave Development Team, works with the NYPTA Greater New York Legislative Task Force, and is the New York PTA Public Policy Committee Student Liaison. She is also the co-founder of Fairy Tale PT. So thank you to Jenna for doing such a wonderful, amazing job with all of her interviews. You're going to hear a couple from her. But today, she is interviewing another one of my favorite students, New York students, Bronté Miller. She is a student physical therapist at Stony Brook University, class of 2019. Last year, she led a team of students to co-found the NYPTA Student Special Interest Group. The SIG is an organization designed to promote PT and PTA student professional engagement, networking, and inter-school collaboration. The SIG is currently in its first term as an organization, with Bronte as president. Bronte believes that transforming our profession starts with empowering students to grow as leaders and problem solvers through earlier engagement in the physical therapy community. These are two powerhouse future PTs, people. So what do they talk about in this episode? The role of the Student Special Interest Group in the physical therapy industry, considerations for working with a student SIG, including how to balance the time commitment with school, how to recruit the right leadership teams for success, and the future of the New York Physical Therapy Association Student Special Interest Group, and much, much more. This was a great interview. If you are a student, you will love this interview. It gives you a lot of practical tips to start forming your own student SIG. So a huge thanks to Jenna and thanks to Bronte. And here you go. Enjoy.
Hello, I'm Jenna Kantor, and I am happy to be partnering with Healthy, Wealthy, and Smart here at the Combined Sections meeting in New Orleans. I am joined today by Bronté Miller. She is a DPT student from Stony Brook University, and she's also the current president of the NYPTA Student Special Interest Group, which is what we are here to discuss. We're here to talk about how to create a student special interest group in your state. So, Bronté, first of all, thank you for being here.
Hi, Jenna. Thank you very much. And this is so cool that you are partnering with Karen and helping her with her podcast here at CSM.
Yes, and I'm definitely taking advantage of this opportunity to showcase you, because for anyone who has not met Bronté yet online or at conferences, she is such a passionate and giving human being, and the work that she did to put together and co-found and lead us in, I was part of this group, lead us in creating the Student Special Interest Group from scratch was just such an inspiring and loving and growing experience, and we would love more people to have this opportunity. So we're going to begin with this first question. First of all, why is the Student Special Interest Group important?
So that's a great question. I think one of the biggest reasons why the SIG is so important is building a community between students. So often, I think in PT school and in PTA school, it's easy to get stuck in a school bubble and you don't really know what's going on around you. And the truth is there are so many really awesome students and so many awesome PTs out there for you to network with, and opportunities for you to develop professionally. And I think that those are all things that having a student special interest group enables you as a student to take advantage of.
Yeah, it gets you out of the bubble. You get to really expand. I love it. How much time does it take to put together a student special interest group from scratch? And this, I think, is a great question because we're thinking time management, what year you are in school. So I would love your insight on this.
Yeah, this is also a really good question. So it really depends. And for us, I think it took about a year. We started in October or November of 2016. Was that it? I think 2016.
Yes, because we're in 2000. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I keep getting messed up with the years.
Yeah.
In 2016, and we had our first meeting, I think, that December. And throughout 2017 was when we created our bylaws and got everything together that we needed to create the group. And at the very end of 2017 was when we were finally receiving applications for our first officers and electing our first officers. So what I would say is maybe a year, possibly longer than that. And I think what's really important when you are building a SIG or anything of this size is to be organized from the very start.
Oh, yeah.
And to have a plan from the get-go on how you're going to do this. I think that really helped us, and I think from talking to a lot of other students who've started a student special interest group, 1 year is actually really efficient.
Yeah, it was a great group. We really loved it.
It was an amazing group.
Yeah.
And having those really fantastic, motivated, dedicated students is invaluable to creating a group like this and doing it in the time that we did it. It was really amazing.
Yeah. I agree. Is it important to build with a team? I don't want to be leading, but why? Why would it be important to be leading with a team if you believe that, or why not?
Yeah, so this kind of just flows right from the previous question. I think having such a fantastic team was absolutely essential for our SIG to succeed. And that was essential for so many different reasons. And I think one of those is just the value of being able to brainstorm with students from different schools who might have different ideas about what it is students need in your state and what they would find value in from having a student special interest group.
And also the work. How about the workload?
And the workload, there's a lot to do. We created our bylaws from scratch and our procedure manual from scratch. And we also came up with which officers we wanted to have and started to get an idea for what sort of events we wanted to plan as a group. And you kind of have to think about that when you're thinking about what officers you want, because you need to create a structure that will allow you to accomplish what it is you want to do as an organization.
Mm-hmm. And to highlight each other's strengths. I mean, that's the whole, going back to what you were just saying with the brainstorming and everything.
Yeah. And having a team is just so much fun.
It is. I mean, Bronte and I now are such good friends. It's amazing.
I love my SIG family.
Yes.
And it's just so true, and it's just so fun, such a joy to come to CSM and to reunite with people from the SIG and take pictures together. And I was feeling kind of tired after the first day of CSM, and then 5 o'clock hit, and we all met for a picture and then to hang out.
It was
I got
perfect.
so excited.
Yes.
You remember Mike was like, "Where are you drawing this energy from?" I'm just like, my SIG family, they're here.
And for anyone who's wondering, she's referring to Mike Macker. He also was part of the co-founding group of the Student Special Interest Group. For the next question, so how did you find the appropriate people to put the SIG together? So SIG's Student Special Interest Group, if anybody's not sure of the acronym we're referring to.
So we were really lucky. We had a fantastic core ambassador, Joe Lipsky.
Yes, Joe.
In 2016 to summer of 2017. And I contacted him after going to a board of directors meeting at the NYPTA and said, "Hey, I heard about this thing called a Student Special Interest Group. And Joe, it sounds like an opportunity for me to get involved in the professional community and to give back as a student and to grow as a professional. How do I get involved?"
And Joe just...
Joe was like, that's a great idea, Bronte. Actually, we don't have one of those, but you can start it. And he put me in contact with a bunch of students who he had met from events that he held and said, "These students are all interested in getting involved. Why don't you contact them?" So I started working with Mike Macker from the start, And we went through this list, and I emailed all of these students, and that's how I got to know Jenna. And we got on a phone call together, and I explained to her what a student special interest group was and kind of what my vision was for it, and she hopped right on with so much excitement.
Yes, this like very confusing mass email that we had at first.
I remember after that first phone call with you, I went home and I called my fiance Donnell, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I just talked to this girl, Jenna from Columbia, and she is psyched, and this is like a solid start. We're going to have this great team. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And there were so many like that. Another one who's been there from the start is Emily Rubin, and she helped along with Max Dunphy. The two of them were there from the start, and they were the co-chairs of our NYC Student Conclave, which was a very successful event last year.
Yes, they did a great job. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it really started from that, and from there, we just kept reaching out to schools around our state because we wanted everyone to know what we were planning, and we wanted them to get involved.
And help.
And yeah, we wanted help, and we also wanted to know what they cared about. What did they want us to do as an organization, because we're here to serve them. And along the way, we found students who wanted to really invest themselves in what we were doing, and they joined our team. And so, yeah, I would say we were very lucky. And one piece of advice I would give is don't be afraid to reach out to other students, because I think you'll be surprised how many want to really dive in and get involved. We're all super busy as students and have a lot of things to do, but there are students, I think, in every class who are looking for an opportunity like this to help. And we've met many fantastic ones throughout this journey.
Oh, yeah. This is a perfect lead-in. So where did you go to get guidance?
So a lot of places, but one online resource that I would recommend is the Student SIG Leader Facebook group. That's Student SIG Leaders. One of my friends, Rachel German, put me in contact with this group. She added me a couple years ago. And that is just a network of student leaders who are so interested in helping each other. I remember the first time I posted on there, I said, hey, my name's Bronte. I'm trying to start a New York student special interest group. Is anyone free to hop on a call and just give advice? I have a couple questions I'd like to ask. And within 30 minutes, I think I received 30 responses on that post. It was insane.
That's wonderful. So now that you are the president of the NYPTA SIG, after taking a year to co-found it very successfully, I might add, what are your biggest goals during your time in this wonderful leadership role?
That's a big question, Jenna.
All right, do it in 3 parts then.
All right. So I think the first part of my goals for this year is to provide student opportunities for professional development and networking. And that's really the mission of the SIG. This is our first year, and I really want to take big steps towards accomplishing that for students. By the end of the year, I would love for them to know who we are and to have benefited in some way, whether they attended a lecture, if they went to some sort of event, maybe it was an online resource they took advantage of, maybe they were able to network with someone or receive a mentor from something that we offered, anything. I think the second part would be, as president, I want to facilitate leadership growth in all of my officers. We had more than 50 applications for the Student Special Interest Group last year, which was amazing, and it was more than we expected. We thought we would have to go digging a little bit, and this, again, speaks to just how many students out there want to get involved. The key is you just need to know how to reach out to them and communicate with them. But I would love to facilitate their growth. I think this group of officers are future leaders in the physical therapy profession, and I would love for them to just have a transformative year in the Student Special Interest Group. And then my third goal is for SIG continuity. We actually had a student special interest group in New York more than a decade ago, I think, Jenna. And
it's just crazy. It's crazy.
I never knew.
Yeah.
And it failed. And The reason it failed was that students didn't want to keep up with, I guess, what it was doing.
No one to take over the
Yeah.
positions. There was a year, and then it just boom.
And so that's frustrating. But I think continuity needs to be a conversation that you have from the start in creating a group like this. And
anytime in re-elections, everything
Yeah.
you want that passion, that drive. Yes. Oh yeah.
And it's got to be something that students legitimately want, and something that students legitimately want to be a part of. Beyond that, there need to be procedures in place and a history, like a paper trail of what the organization has done, so that future leaders can take it on and follow in your footsteps. And so this year, I really want to create a strong foundation for this organization to continue in New York for years, and for students to continually benefit from it. I think that's going to be a huge thing that we're working on this year.
And I mean, I'm on the board with Bronte, and I could definitely vouch that everything you are saying, you are accomplishing. I love the goals that you always do, and the collaboration and everything, and the communication that we've developed as a team. It's a bigger team now, you know, 'cause we have all these fantastic.
It's so cool.
It's so cool, and how we have figured out the best way. And when you're talking about leadership, facilitating leadership growth in offices, I mean, I can say hands-on. You make me grow every time I work with you. I think our friendship and being able to have that truth, that honesty, and we always know there's just so much support in everything we do, and because we truly have that best interest for each other, like you create that world for me personally to grow.
Well,
so I can definitely say that you are a very ideal person to be in your position, and I thank you for sharing these goals. And anyone who is interested in starting up a student SSIG, please contact. You can find me, you can find Bronte, literally just or go on this Facebook group. There are so many people who are out there who want to help. If they don't know, you'll be passed to the right person real fast. So please reach out. I'm thrilled. Thank you so much, Bronte, once again, for just being on here. I really think your voice is so valuable because of your passion, and I think my goal and prayer for this particular podcast is that it does inspire some other students to get this going. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenna. And yes, if anyone is listening to this and would like help or has questions, any sort of questions about starting a student special interest group or getting students more involved, I would love to help in whatever ways that I can, or if I can't help, I will find someone who can help you. Jen, is there a way you can maybe post my email address or something like that?
Well, when Karen's listening to this, I think she'll be like, okay, I'll make sure. Thank you so much. All right, thank you for listening, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to the podcast at podcast.healthywealthysmart.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media.